Coming up next on Newswatch.
Lawmakers are working on the civil protection law that's too outdated to protect you. A state court case could be setting a new precedent for gun control.
And in sports, Ohio soccer has 2 games with major implications this weekend. Newswatch starts right now.
Broadcasting live from WOUB TV in Athens. This is Newswatch.
Right now, if someone you've been dating for a long time abuses you, you might not be protected under Ohio's laws. Good evening, I'm Caitlin Marshall. Thanks for joining us. As it stands right now, Ohio's domestic violence laws only look out for people who are related, have children, or live together. 48 states have updated the legal language to protect those who are in long-term relationships. Ohio and Georgia still have not closed that loophole. State Representative Amelia Sykes believes she knows why.
People think that dating violence is only teenagers who are kind of together for a couple weeks and then they disappear and then they want to get back at each other and they say, well, let's get a civil protection order. That's not what's happening. You know, there are lots of people who deserve this protection who are not just teenagers, who are adults, who are millennials, who are, delaying marriage. There are formerly married individuals who decided they won't marry again or they don't want to marry again, but they're still engaging in relationships that are substantial, ongoing, and they deserve the protection when violence arises in them.
State Representatives Sykes and Coons have introduced a bill to modernize the language to Ohio's civil protection laws. They reportedly have bipartisan support. There's no word on when the changes would take place. The Ohio University Board of Trustees are meeting, and earlier today, many appeared to encourage students to complete their degrees earlier as a way to save money. These recommendations were part of a discussion to comply with Governor Kasich's task force. The task force requires each state university to reduce the cost of earning a degree by 5%. Today, some of OU's top administrators suggested the heavy price tag is really the student's fault. Executive VP and Provost Pam Benoit cited additional costs like study abroad and extra classes. And President Roderick McDavis said degrees are designed to be completed within 3 years, but suggested some don't want to leave and would rather have fun in their 4th year. Neither addressed the fact that to complete a degree in 3 years requires summer school, and many scholarships or financial aid packages do not cover summer classes. Local small businesses are getting thousands of dollars. The Obama administration announced 36 awards totaling $15,000. It'll go to 12 states to build a more diversified and better economic future for their communities. The Appalachian Partnership for Economic Growth in Nelsonville will receive $500,000, and Rural Action in the Plains will receive nearly $68,000. Albany's Alexander Local School District has filed a lawsuit against the Village of Albany to connect its new bus garage and wellness center to the village's sanitary sewer system. The school district claims a sewer tap it purchased in 2004 has plenty of capacity to include the wellness center, but the village claims hooking up another building to the tap requires annexation. Judge Patrick Lang will hear the case on Friday at 1 p.m.
Good evening from the Newswatch Weather Center. I'm Ann Campolongo. We had another great day around southeastern Ohio this afternoon. Sunny skies, blue skies were out there, a few clouds in the sky, but really, for the most part, we saw nice sunshine this afternoon, and temperatures were up in the upper 60s this afternoon. So a change from the cooler temperatures we've seen later this week. Right now in Athens, we're at 67 degrees, a west wind out there at 12 miles per hour with gusts up to 16, but a beautiful, beautiful sunset as we saw out there on our tower cam. Across the region right now, most of us still in the middle to upper 60s, 67 in Athens and 66 over in New Lexington. As you head out tonight, I think clouds will be on the increase. We'll drop down into the middle 50s for you by 8 p.m. and then by midnight down to 50. And as you start off your day on Friday morning, temperatures in the middle to lower 40 range. And there's a slight chance for a shower possibly as a cold front passes through early on Friday morning. But other than that, most of our clouds will increase and will stay dry for the majority of the evening tonight.
Revenue from Ohio's 4 full-service casinos is up this quarter. The Ohio Department of Taxation released the report today. Casinos produced $66.6 million in tax revenue for the period ending at the end of September. That's up from the $64.2 million in tax revenue during the previous quarter. More than $22 million of the money went to fund charter schools and public schools across the state. President Obama will be in West Virginia next week. The commander-in-chief will be visiting the Mountain State to discuss substance abuse. President Obama will be in Charleston next Wednesday. He will be holding a community discussion on opioid abuse. West Virginia currently has the highest rate of overdose deaths in the country. West Virginians are also getting back to work tonight. Workforce West Virginia says the unemployment rate fell to 7.3% last month. The number of unemployed residents dropped by 2,000 last month. It is still well above the national average of 5.1%. Still to come on Newswatch, millions of retirees will see less money from Social Security. More on the changes to come in 2016. And a sobering reality check from President Obama today as he makes yet another announcement about the troops in Afghanistan. We've got the details when Newswatch returns.
I decided to do a planned gift because I want to ensure that PBS will be around for my grandchildren and hopefully great-grandchildren. I would hope that others, when doing their estate planning, would include their PBS station. My PBS station is part of my community. That's something I really value.
Ohio University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
The student body here at Ohio University absolutely is a family.
The students support one another.
You become this unit, this big, friendly family unit.
There's this connectedness.
You feel a part of something.
Driving in on the highway and just seeing the red bricks and the trees again, it's just like coming back home.
There's great students, great professors.
You just walk around campus and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I go here.
I feel like I matter in the community, and I feel like I matter here at Ohio University.
It's home. Athens is home. My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
A Milwaukee jury recently found a gun shop negligent for selling a pistol to a man who gave the gun to a friend who then shot 2 officers. The jury ruled the shop was negligent because it was obvious the man bought the weapon for the gunman who was too young to legally purchase it. Now some are wondering if the jury's ruling will set a precedent. AJ Baitapur reports.
I've not seen or heard of any other case like this. It is really a unique case.
Former State Supreme Court Justice Janine Geske says the ruling is likely headed to a higher than highest state court.
If the Court of Appeals decides it, I'm sure it will go to the Wisconsin Supreme Court. And that's the court that's really going to decide the fundamental policy.
The policy would determine not only whether to uphold a jury award of nearly $6 million, but also a new precedent, one that determines gun shops can be held liable if a sloppy sale leads to a shooting. It's a precedent that concerns Wisconsin Carry President Nick Clark.
I think the unfortunate side effect of the outcome is going to be that gun stores, especially gun stores near urban areas, are going to have to, profile their customers.
In the Badger Guns case, attorneys for the injured officers argue the store should have been concerned that the 18-year-old Burton pointed out to Jacob Collins the gun he would eventually use to shoot officers Graham Kunish and Brian Norberg. They say the store also should have asked more questions when Collins initially put on the form the gun was for someone else before changing his answer.
I've filled out that form incorrectly. I've made mistakes in that form, and I'm a college-educated guy.
Geske says if the ruling is upheld in higher courts, it'll set a standard that, in her opinion, is reasonable.
Gun stores and people that sell guns are going to have to look much more carefully at who they sell it to and what are the circumstances under which they sell it.
The jury in the case awarded more than $5 million to the 200 police officers. That could be overturned by higher courts. Legal experts say it's unlikely the U.S. Supreme Court would ever take up the case. As the war in Afghanistan enters its 15th year, its end gets pushed back. President Obama today announced the drawdown of troops from Afghanistan will be delayed. He says the Afghan military is just not ready to take on the task of securing the country. Steve Nannis has the details from Washington.
A major reversal from President Obama on what he hoped would be part of his administration's legacy, pulling all U.S. troops out of Afghanistan.
I've decided to maintain our current posture of 9,800 troops in Afghanistan through most of next year, 2016.
This new plan will bring the number of troops down to 5,500 by early 2017. Initially, the plan was to do that by the end of this year, then have an embassy-only presence by the end of next year.
But maintaining our current posture through most of next year, rather than a more rapid drawdown, will allow us to sustain our efforts to train and assist Afghan forces as they grow stronger.
One analyst says training Afghan troops is not the same as training American troops.
We're dealing with a different society, a different cultural norm. And I think that it's taken time to overcome a lot of those societal norms.
The president said the delay is necessary given recent events in Afghanistan.
Meanwhile, the Taliban has made gains, particularly in rural areas, and can still launch deadly attacks in cities, including Kabul.
According to the UN, insurgents have now spread through more of the country than at any time since the post-9/11 invasion. Afghanistan's defense minister says his country's military is making strides, but still needs help.
We will continue to need some level of support that will enable us, that will help us to really address that threat.
In Washington, I'm Steve Nannis.
This is the second drawdown delay announced by Obama this year. It alters the timeline the president outlined in March, saying the U.S. would have an embassy-only presence in Afghanistan by the end of next year. Some 65 million retirees on Social Security will not receive a cost of living boost in 2016. It's a first in 5 years. The reason? A decline in inflation caused by failing gas prices. In other words, if the price of goods doesn't increase, Social Security benefits stay flat. Unfortunately, the way the government measures inflation may not accurately reflect how many on Social Security spend. Many seniors drive very few miles per month and spend little on gas. But medical costs, a big ticket item for many retirees, have risen faster than inflation. The typical retiree's benefit is about $1,300 a month. Congress now has 2 fewer days to deal with the debt ceiling. Treasury Secretary Jack Lew says the U.S. will hit the debt ceiling on November 3rd, 2 days earlier than he originally thought. Lew says the U.S. will only be able to pay the country's bills with the cash it has on hand starting November 3rd, and that would not be enough to cover all the bills on some days. The debt ceiling is a cap set by Congress on how much outstanding debt the federal government can have. It's currently set at just over $18 trillion. Congress is expected to debate whether to suspend or raise the debt ceiling next week. On Wall Street today, stocks finished with strong gains after a 2-day skid. Here's a look at stocks of local interest. One reporter went where few have, what the leaders of North Korea are providing to their citizens. That story's still ahead.
And some of the coolest air we've seen yet is headed our way. I'll let you know when that gets here and how much of a frost potential we will see. All that plus your 7-day forecast next on Newswatch.
I support one student in college with a scholarship. just the way I want to pass on a legacy of education. I would like to pass PBS on to the next generation. I like to think that PBS is concerned with our soul. If your soul is in the right place, you're giving back.
Ohio University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
The student body here at Ohio University absolutely is a family.
The students support one another.
You become this unit, this big, friendly family unit.
There's this connectedness.
You feel a part of something.
Driving in on the highway and just seeing the red bricks and the trees again, it's just like coming back home.
There's great students, great professors.
You just walk around campus and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I go here.
I feel like I matter in the community, and I feel like I matter here at Ohio University.
It's home. Athens is home. My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
Welcome back to the Newswatch Weather Center. I'm Ann Campolongo. We had another great day in Athens, a mild day. Temperatures reached the upper 60s this afternoon, but it was still nice out there. Nice sunset in the background of our tower cam right now. 67 currently in Athens, and we do have a west wind out at 12 miles per hour. Temperatures across the region, though, most of us in the upper 60s, middle 60s for some of us still here. 67 in Athens and 66 up in New Lexington. We did reach a high of 68 this afternoon rather. 36 was our low, so a bit cooler out there as you stepped out to the bus stop or were on your way to work. As we take a look at the precipicast for tonight, chances for a passing shower might come around early dawn hours as a cold front passes through our region. That will swing through early on Friday morning, so it will be a little bit cooler tomorrow, and you'll see that definitely as we look at the temperatures for the weekend. Things will cool off dramatically for your Saturday and Sunday. But then tomorrow, I think things will be dry as Canadian high pressure takes control of our weather, keeping us with sunny skies for your Friday and through the weekend, but temperatures will be cold, dropping our lows even on Saturday and Sunday morning into the upper 30s. As you head out to the bus stop tomorrow, though, things will be cool, 44. Bring a jacket as you head out the door, but sunny skies in the afternoon. Temperatures will be a little bit cooler tomorrow. By 8 a.m., we'll be at 44 degrees. Again, a small chance for a passing shower, but by noon, we'll be up to 54, and then lower 60s by 4 o'clock in the afternoon. As you head out tonight, though, 42 will be your low. We'll see mostly cloudy skies, a chilly evening out there, and you take a look on into your Friday. 62 will be our high, mostly sunny skies, another cool fall day. But then taking a look at the 7-day forecast, tomorrow looks to be great, sunny skies, but then Saturday and Sunday is when we cool off dramatically. Temperatures highs only in the lower 50s, so a fall-like weekend for you coming up on your weekend. Lows dipping down into even the lower 30s, upper 20s for some of us might see as we open the day up on Sunday, as we could see potential frost opportunities on Sunday and Monday, but things will warm back up only into the upper 50s for you as you start the week off next week. But dry conditions remain for the start of your work week next week. And then the next chance for rain comes middle of next week as we reach temperatures up into the middle 60s for your Wednesday and Thursday. Caitlin, back to you.
Thanks, Ann. Millions of North Koreans live in extreme poverty, many of them suffering from chronic malnutrition. Even heat and electricity can be hard to come by, but those living in Pyongyang are seeing big benefits pop up in their city. Will Ripley took an exclusive tour.
It's lunchtime in Pyongyang. The North Koreans say we're the first foreign media to come aboard the Rainbow. 4 stories, 8 restaurants and cafes, 11,000 square meters, all floating on the Taedong River. Supreme Leader Kim Jong-un's recent field inspection, a lead story on state-controlled media. The announcer calling it a gift to the people. So this is where the leader sat. You marked the spot here. At the revolving restaurant and others inspected by the leader, you can probably guess the most coveted seats. What do your customers say when they sit in this chair in particular? Everyone wants to sit here where the leader sat, she says. They rush to grab it. Look at that line. A week after opening, the Rainbow has seen capacity crowds, 2,000 people in the first hour. Factory worker Song Eung brought his whole family. Is this affordable for everyday people here in North Korea? Anyone can come here. It's meant for all people, he says. Menu items run the equivalent of a few US cents to a few dollars. It's hard to calculate exactly how much the average North Korean earns. Some estimates say an entire family might bring in about $100 a month. Housing, healthcare, basic food rations, and other services, all free from the state. Virtually nobody owns a car, but they can still pay up to $2 per ride at the Rungna People's Amusement Park. I'm so happy to watch my daughter on the ride, says grandmother Kim Ok-sun. Her family, among 3,000 people at the park, considered a busy night. I've tried all the rides, says her daughter Cha Ok-byul. This one is my favorite. Some may consider this an odd investment for a nation with regular food and electricity shortages, but it's part of a promise by the regime to improve people's living standards. We don't know what life is like in parts of North Korea we're not allowed to visit. Defectors and aid workers paint a far darker picture than these sparkling lights. But here in the capital, there are more new amenities each year. More new rewards for absolute loyalty to the leader. Will Ripley, CNN, Pyongyang, North Korea.
There is also a 4-story cruise among the gifts given to North Korean citizens. Carter, over to you.
Welcome into sports. I'm Carter Eckel. The ACHA released their polls last night. Stay tuned to find out where Ohio hockey ended up. And the preseason rankings for Ohio wrestling were released today. Find out where the Cats are predicted to finish next on Newswatch. Stay tuned to WOUB. Here's a look at what's coming up tonight on your public television station.
My granddaughter is named June Elizabeth, but I call her Junebug. My hope is to teach her about kindness and about the love of animals and nature. I want Junebug to have the same opportunities I had by watching PBS. My husband and I feel so strongly about our PBS station that we've included them in our estate plan. PBS is part of our values, and we want to pass it on to the next generation.
Ohio University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
The student body here at Ohio University absolutely is a family.
The students support one another.
You become this unit, this big, friendly family unit.
There's this connectedness.
You feel a part of something.
Driving in on the highway and just seeing the red bricks and the trees again, it's just like coming back home.
There's great students, great professors.
You just walk around campus and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I go here.
I feel like I matter in the community, and I feel like I matter here at Ohio University.
It's home. Athens is home. My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open. You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
Welcome back. I'm Carter Eckel. The Ohio hockey team is once again the #1 team in the country. The Cats received 31 of the potential 38 first-place votes in the most recent ranking that came out Wednesday night. It is the first time that the Bobcats have been the #1 team in the ACHA poll since October 26th of 2012. Ohio doesn't have long to revel in the glory as they take on #3 ranked Lindenwood Lions at Bird Arena this weekend. Puck drops in the first game on Friday at 7:30 p.m. Ohio Wrestling is ranked #2 in the MAC preseason poll. The Bobcats earned the #2 spot based on the 2015-16 individual weight class rankings by wrestling coaches in the Mid-American Conference. 7 Ohio wrestlers earned a top 4 spot in their weight class, including Cody Walters, who is the #1 ranked wrestler in the 174-pound weight class. The Bobcat season starts on November 7th when they will compete in the Eastern Michigan Duels. The Ohio soccer team returns home this weekend with Mid-American Conference games on Friday and Sunday. The Cats take on Eastern Michigan Friday afternoon at Chesafield, looking for their first win against the Eagles since 2011. The Bobcats will be looking to bounce back from a 3-game losing streak and avenge last year's loss where they fell following a late Eagle goal that came in the 83rd minute. The battle of the green and whites will be crucial for Ohio if they want to get out of the basement of the MAC East. And in baseball last night, in what will easily be remembered as one of the most bizarre games in Division Series history, the Toronto Blue Jays knocked off the Texas Rangers 6-3. The drama started in the 7th inning when Russell Martin attempted to throw a ball back to the mound when it deflected off of a Rangers batter. After an umpire review, the MLB confirmed that the runner on third should be awarded a run given that he was heading home and touched home plate. However, it wouldn't matter when Jose Bautista stepped to the plate in the bottom of the 7th inning with runners on first and third. Bautista launched an emphatic 430-foot home run to give the Blue Jays a 6-3 lead and a spot in the ALCS where they will face the Kansas City Royals. Even without my spoiler alert, on the other AL Division Series game came down to Game 5 as well. Johnny Cueto of the Royals and Colin McHugh of the Astros squared off in Kansas City in their own decisive Game 5. Cueto outdueled more than just the Astros starter as the Royals' #2 threw a shutout in 8 innings of work. The Astros could only get 4 innings out of McHugh before having to turn to their bullpen. Kendrys Morales hit a 3-run shot of his own, solidifying the Royals' spot in the ALCS for the 2nd consecutive season. Now, baseball may be wrapping up, but Week 6 of the football season kicks off tonight with the Atlanta Falcons taking on the New Orleans Saints. Even though the Falcons led the NFC South, the records tend not to mean as much when these two teams meet. The past 11 games have come down to 3 points or less, meaning tonight's game could easily come down to quarterback play. The Saints statistically have the league's worst defense, so they will have to step it up against the Falcons. Defensively, the Falcons have done a solid job stopping the run, but they can't overlook Drew Brees. Kickoff is scheduled for 8:25 p.m. I'm Carter Eckel, and that's it for sports. Back to you, Ann.
And temperatures tonight in Athens will reach down to the lower 40s, 42 here in Athens tonight. Partly cloudy skies, another chilly evening for us on tap. But as we look into our Friday for tomorrow, things look to be nice. 62 will be our high tomorrow afternoon. Mostly sunny skies, another cool fall day out there. Temperatures not quite as warm as we saw today for tomorrow. That's because of that cold front coming through tomorrow morning, so we could see a passing shower, but I think most of us will stay dry. Saturday and Sunday, though, a dramatic cool down for us. 50s for a high on Saturday and Sunday. Lows dropping down into the lower 30s for you on Sunday morning, so definitely a cool one as you head out to soccer practice or church services on Sunday. Make sure to bundle up. We could see a potential for frost or even freeze warning Sunday and into Monday morning, but things look dry for the start of your work week next week. Temperatures rebound on Monday back into the upper 50s. Caitlin, back to you.
Thanks, Ann, and that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. I'm Caitlin Marshall. Stay tuned for the PBS News Hour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime online at WOUB.org. Have a great night.
Decided to do a planned gift because I want to ensure that PBS will be around for my grandchildren and hopefully great-grandchildren. I would hope that others, when doing their estate planning, would include their PBS station. My PBS station is part of my community. That's something I really value.